recently, a friend and I were having a Skype conversation. And toward the end, there was a few moments of silence, and there was this real potent energy of love and connection. And suddenly, I started to feel a bit uncomfortable, and I giggled, which is something I have done over the years when I want to deflect and kind of check out of the experience. It's a moment of fleeing from what is. And because that connection experience that I was having with this friend was so potent, there was so much energy in it, I couldn't fully receive, so I giggled and checked out. Now, because with this friend, I have a very open and honest way of conversing and connecting, I shared it with her immediately. I said, oh, did you notice that I just became uncomfortable and I checked out of the experience we were having by giggling? She said, yes, I did. And she said a few words that really stayed with me. And that's what I want to share with you on this video today. She said, we have to learn to tolerate love. And I had never heard the word tolerate put into the same statement with love in that positive context. I'd only heard tolerate in the context of tolerating pain or suffering, so it had a negative connotation for me. Yet that moment when she said tolerate love, something shifted, and I liked the word tolerate in that particular statement about tolerating love, because I realized that I actually couldn't tolerate that level of love in that moment, which is why I used the giggling as a coping mechanism to check out of the experience. I was afraid of this much vast love. I couldn't receive it. I didn't have a receiving pathway that was integrated inside of me through practice over the years in order to be able to receive that. Now, I stayed with that kind of download that I had received for a couple of weeks, and I really implemented it in the different aspects of my life. I also noticed that I couldn't tolerate creativity, that I didn't know, and yet now that I was aware, when I would have a creative insight, I would go from download to a couple of steps and then to implement. So I was under the impression that when you receive a creative idea, it is yours to implement. And that may be true, and yet there could be this space when you receive a creative idea, enjoy it, really receive the vibration of it, the sensation of it in your body, bask in it, luxuriate in it, and then, yes, from your overflow, you can go ahead and implement. So as I was having some creative ideas, I was going right to implement, and then I realized, I wasn't tolerating the creative insight, and it was gorgeous energy. And so is it because I wasn't able to receive that level of amazingness, and therefore I wanted to go right into action with it and implement it? I started to feel like that was true. So I started to tolerate creativity. I even remember I was having a moment, where I was sitting and I was meditating, and I received some creative insights, and I wanted to come out of meditation to go write those things on my journal and get to it. And then I remembered the word tolerate in that statement. I said, tolerate this creative juice. And so, bringing it inside the visceral field, allowing every cell and the membrane around trillions of cells inside the body to be able to receive that, to be able to embody it, pulsate that kind of vibration. And then from there, yes, emanate and implement. And even my brother was here, and I was having a conversation with him. And usually when, through connection and conversation, when oxytocin levels rise, the love hormone, the heart opens up in a whole new way, and or more than usual. And when the heart opens up on that level, more creative insights download. So, you know, I was connected with my brother and the heart was open, and then I received a couple of creative ideas, and I went to say it to him, and then I paused and I realized, oh, bask in it, receive it, be with this. And then he said, what just happened? I said, well, I had a creative moment, and according to my old self, I was about to lift off of planet Earth and land on, you know, planet Uranus, or as some say, Uranus. But then I realized I wanted to tolerate the juiciness of this creative insight, so I am taking the impatience out of the process. And it's not even about trying to be patient, it's really just about taking impatience out of the formula. And then I realized that also applied to inspiration for me, because for so many years on this path, I've been both a student and a teacher. I've developed this mindset that the moment I am inspired by something, I go into a channel of thinking in my brain that says, okay, how am I going to teach this? Am I going to say it on a conference call tomorrow? Am I going to put it on a video? Am I going to do it in a course? And is it going to be said in an event that I'm going to be at? And so how am I going to share this inspiration? And I realized again, because of that tolerate experience that I was now opening up to, that even when I receive inspiration, it's about tolerating it. A couple of days ago, I received this really inspiring idea. And the difference between creativity and inspiration is, you know, creativity is actually some kind of a piece of the formula, whereas inspiration for me is just more opening, like opening and remembering who I am, and, you know, remembering the journey from a deeper visceral sense inside of me. So I had this inspiration. I remembered something clicked together, and then immediately I said, okay, how am I going to share this? How I got there, or what the formula is with others. And then I said, Ellie, tolerate the inspiration. So, you know, I allowed a breath, I relaxed my shoulders, I went into that experience, and I recognized it is about receiving. You know, all of us have developed the skill of giving, especially as women, more than receiving. There's often been guilt and conditioned beliefs around the idea of receiving. We have been taught that receiving and being selfish or self-centered or whatever, you know, those are the kinds of things that we want to avoid. So we just give instead of really receive, and tolerating love, tolerating creativity, tolerating inspiration, feeling the sensation within oneself, being fulfilled with the isness, with what is of that experience, without having to put it into a goal, without having to put it into some kind of implementation formula, is that skill of receiving. Receive. And there should be no fear or lack. There should be like no fear that if I don't apply this, or if I don't share this immediately, then it's going to go away. No, because when something is truly downloaded through our heart and soul, it is there to stay. Often we may get in its way, yet it's not going to go away. So we might as well really receive, really enjoy, and then from there, be that in action. So I wanted to share this with you. I have been tolerating it. I took a while before I shared it on video. Thank you for listening.